episode 171. Thank you all for listening to episode 170, McMania, the Five Knuckles Shuffle. I am Gary, here with my co-host,
Zazu, the Parrot, and Bear, the Bear.
Bear the Bear. And, on Grindr, a lot of people look for bears. That's what I hear.
They do. Yeah, not that kind of bear. Not that kind of bear.
And
this bear likes to dip into honey.
Oh my God! And God, that caught me off guard. And as always, Cody Bryant, fashionably late. So we'll see if we get him on this show.
Yeah.
Oh,
I say let's take a bet. Let's take a quick bet here on when he joins in. It's 6:10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right now. I'm gonna say 6:17 p.m.
I was gonna say 6:27.
I'll meet you guys in the middle. I'll say like 6:21.
Well, that's not the middle. 6:22 is the middle, but okay, thank you. All right, I forgot to do the shot, so here you go with the shot. Parrot, you got your beer?
I had a beer
There we go.
and a shot.
Cheers.
Right.
All right, so thank
It's a
you.
long day.
Yeah, I feel you there. A long day at golf. So, and I did work between. I worked this morning, and then we went golfing. I got back, and I was working. Jake saw me take a call, and I said, "Give me a half hour. I'll call you back for a work call." So, took care of that, and worked a little. Right around 5 o'clock, I shut it down. So, still got 7 hours in today. It was a good day, even with golf. Got that in. So, thank you. Yeah. Thank you to Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. First thing I wanted to talk about was I know that there's some NFL draft changes, so they're going virtual from what I see. And then I think Zazu, you were telling me that EA Sports is going to do some type of walkthrough. Were you the one telling me that?
I was not. I think that was Bear.
Could have been Brandon, maybe.
I don't have anyone's number saved, so I don't know who's who.
It was probably Brandon. I think he was telling us that EA Sports is going to be doing like just a virtual walk for each of the players. So that's pretty neat that they're going to do that. It's all virtual. So is there going to be anybody in Vegas or somewhere that's heading this up, like Goodell?
I have no idea. I haven't heard where Goodell is going to be at in all this. I'm happy they're doing it, but it's going to be interesting. I'm just waiting for the first GM or first person to forget to mute their conference and give away their strategy. Can't wait for that one. Can't wait for someone to get hacked. Can't wait for someone's internet connection to go out and, someone misses their pick. There's so much that can go wrong with this, but I'm just so happy that they're going to do it because we need something of sports right now that's not a replay. So I will take it. I don't care about I'm sorry, but I don't give two shits about the iRacing, simulated golf, simulated baseball, I don't care about any of that. I want it to be real because none of that is real. It is all fake. It is, video game shit. So I just want something that's real, and the NFL draft is the only thing that's going to get us to real sports here, it sounds like, before June. So I'm looking forward to it, and I hope it goes well, but I just see so much that can go wrong with this.
Right. And then with that, it does look like, just from what I know, Schefter had said a lot of things about it, that what Commissioner Goodell had said in regards to what was happening and the virtual draft, so to speak, that they're going to use the technology. And like you said, I'm waiting for somebody to screw it up because it's new to a lot of people. So nobody can be there. And so what did they say? That each team is going to basically have a draft headquarters?
Yeah. So each team will, but I don't think that it's going to be – most of it's going to be people's houses pretty much from what I read today, because there was another thing that came out that said the IT people who are going to set it up, some of the coaches and some of the director of personnel people for the NFL were weary about these random IT people coming into their house and setting this up with the whole coronavirus thing too. So I don't know. I mean, they got 3 weeks to figure out how they're going to do all that, but it'll be interesting to see how they get all that set up here in the next couple weeks.
And not all clubs are going to have access to some of this stuff, so it should be interesting, like you're saying, to see what happens. I did see that this year in Hard Knocks, it's the first year that they're going to do 2 teams, both LA teams, the Chargers and the Rams. So it should be interesting if they do get to both of them. If there is, the training camps. I mean, we'll see in OTAs. We don't know, but we'll see as time goes on. And speaking of that, I mean, 2 teams will be fun, but I don't know what's going to happen. And then from there, it'll be interesting because, like the Chargers, when you look at it, they lost Rivers, they lost Melvin Gordon, Rams lost Gurley. So it'll be interesting to see what they do with those.
Yeah, and the Chargers gained some defense in the draft, through trade. And I mean, pretty much they're going to draft a quarterback, I'm thinking, unless Newton goes there or something like that. But my guess is that's where they're going to be heading towards in the draft way to get a quarterback. So it'll be interesting if they have a rookie quarterback going through everything. With the Rams, I mean, this is going to pretty much be it for them. I mean, they're about to lose more players. All that salary cap is going to go down the shitter. We're going to see really what McVay's made out of it. He's an offensive-minded genius and can pull this team together for a winning record. But I bet the Rams probably go 8-8 this year.
Right. That's a good take. And then I'm going to ask you, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate the Atlanta Falcons' new uniforms?
-6. I'd have to look at them.
Yeah, they are pretty bad.
They're not good. Not good. Not good at all. I don't know who designed that, but it was kind of rough.
Yep.
It's just a darker coloring. They have a black one, I think a red one, and a white one. And it just has like a bold ATL on the top with their numbers below it, also bolded. And that's like it. Very odd.
Yeah. And we're inching closer to Bears time for when Cody Bryant shows up. We're inching closer.
I got 1 minute.
Well, actually, you've got like a 4-minute leeway because he's got, 6:21? So you have, 6:17 now. So you've got a couple minutes till it's 6:19, and then we'll see if he shows up. Then you guys would split and tie, and we'll see what happens. All right. So, Bear, you want to kind of tell us about what's going on with PGA Tour? They announced the rescheduled dates for 3 majors. You want to tell us what those are if you know?
Yeah, so they moved the Masters, which we knew actually was supposed to be this week. We should be picking the Masters right now. Unfortunately, we aren't. But, they moved that. It's still tentative. Their date that they're looking at, I think it was November 12th through the 15th.
Correct.
For the dates on those. I think they moved the PGA back a little bit, and then also the U.S. Open, the British Open, the Open Championship, quote unquote, was actually just totally nixed. They completely canceled that, so they'll play that next year at Royal St. George, which was supposed to be St. Andrews, so they don't have to wait till 2022. But the PGA Championship was moved August 6th to the 9th, U.S. Open September 17th through the 20th. And the Ryder Cup still is in there for September 25th to the 27th. So I don't know how they're going to play it out. This will make the Masters pretty much this will make the Masters the FedEx Cup Championship, I would think. I don't think they've gone through that, but I mean, the last 2 tournaments of the year for the FedEx Cup, if that's what they do. I don't know if they will, but if that's what they do, it'll be the U.S. Open and the Masters, which is just absolutely insane that those will be the last 2. But I don't think they're going to do that because the Masters field, they already put in the 96 people. They already locked them in, but who will be there? So I don't know if those just won't count for the FedEx Cup or it'll count for next year. I have no idea. So there's still a little bit to go from there, but sounds like I think they said that June 4th, they're as they pick back up with no fans, but that's what they're shooting for, to have golf back June 4th. So that's 2 months away is what they're looking at here, a little less than 2 months. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. If they can make it to that, we'll see. I don't know. Depends how all this goes. But right now, we're all locked out pretty much until May 1st. So we'll see how all that turns out as we get closer to that date.
Right. And then I know I just was watching this and reading this yesterday. So 25 years ago was Tiger's first Masters, and he was low amateur. And it was pretty neat.
Yep.
And then in that interview, he talks about how he's right after the interview, he's leaving to go to school because he had a 9 a.m. class at Stanford. So he was low amateur. And then the year after, I think he didn't make the cut. Is that correct?
Yes, I'm pretty sure he did not in '98. Or if he did, it was he finished last or something like that. If he did make the cut.
Yep. Yeah, I know in '95 was his first year, and he was low amateur. '96 didn't make it, and then he said he wouldn't play in another Masters till he got his PGA card, and he did. And then obviously we know what happened in '97. So. Yeah, I mean the rest was history. After that, he was a badass. I was reading that the first time he shot in the he broke 70, he was like 12. First time he broke the 80s, he was like 8. I was like, that's insane.
Yeah, I never did that.
You don't know if you'll ever break 80 and hit in the 70s?
Probably not.
Just takes practice, Parrot.
I don't have long enough wings.
Yeah, Tiger finished tied 8th actually in the '98 Masters. So he had the longest streak without a missed cut, which will probably stand forever. But his first one was in '90. It was the Royal Canadian or Canadian Open in '97, and then he didn't miss a cut again until 2005.
Holy shit! Really?
Yep.
That is, yeah, that's one of those streaks that, like the streak that was on ESPN last night was Cal Ripken, 21-31. That's one of those streaks that'll never be broken.
Yeah, not in this day and age. I mean, too many people have their Sunday rest or their, that's just how it is in baseball. You see quite a bit. You got guys playing 5-6 days a week, and then they take Sunday off. I don't think you'll ever see another Iron Man in baseball like Cal Ripken again. No way.
Nope, and it's just like Tiger. I mean, nobody, I don't think, in golf is going to break that streak ever. But
no, I mean it's just so hard to do. You have to be in the top 50% of these fields of 140 professional golfers. That's crazy. We're talking guys pretty much on the same skill set as you.
Right. Right. And speaking of hard to do, right now we know it's hard to get out there and get your essential needs for people and get clothing and those things, because sometimes it's not considered essential. But we know that Brandon at All Wear Clothing can help you with getting your clothing needs met. Whether it be, he can do anything for you. He can do sweatpants, he can do shorts, he can do shirts, jerseys, anything you think of. He can help you out with those clothing needs. Just be sure to check him out, allwearclothing.com. As always, we appreciate Brandon for everything he does for us and the show. He's the primary sponsor of the show with All Wear Clothing. They provided us with the shirts for the podcast. We've got awesome hoodies for the podcast. We're going to get some other cool swag. We're going to get Bear's banana hammock. We're going to get everything we can. And if you want a banana hammock too with the OTL Sports Podcast logo, just give him a call and or check him out, allwearclothing.com. Thanks again, Brandon. So let's talk about baseball, since you mentioned baseball as well. They're trying to get back in May. I think June's going to be more realistic. But they're trying to do in Phoenix, get all 30 teams back. They have like 10 or 11 fields out there in Phoenix that they use for spring training, that they would play the games with no fans. The people and personnel that play, the players, would just be able to go to the fields and back to their hotel rooms. So they'd be quarantined. What do you guys think of that? Jake, what do you think? Or Zazu, what do you think first?
I'm not against it. I mean, I'm kind of just at the point where I just want sports to be back. And if they can find us, if they think that that's the safe way to do it. I mean, I read that they're going to keep like the players in the stands and all that, so they're still apart. I mean, I'm all for it. I think in June's more realistic than any time in May too. But I mean, with all the stadiums being within 45 minutes apart from each other, I mean, I think it's a good idea. I don't see anything wrong with it. It's just what's going to happen when the player tests positive, like in the NBA. Are they going to shut it down, or what? You know what I mean? What are they going to do about that? So I mean, it's just kind of wait and see what happens.
What do you think, Bear?
I mean, yeah, I just don't know if it's going to quite happen in May. I'd like to see it happen as long as everything's fine and, we've flattened the curve and the numbers start to go down, which I think they will here, after this week. I wouldn't be shocked at all if they do. But I would think that if they're going to do that, you got to make sure that if they want to do this, want to do all their testing, that's great, but they're going to come under so much scrutiny if they're testing these guys all the time when there's still X amount of millions of people out there who need to be tested, not baseball players. So they gotta make sure, I think, before they just put themselves in the public eye like that, or however they're going to test, or whoever has it, whatever they decide to do, I think they need to make sure that the correct people have their testing in before they start going into these daily tests of all their players, or half their players, or whomever, however they're going to do that. But back to the point at hand, I would like to see them in May. Again, I agree with Zazu there. I'd like to see sports of some sort here coming anytime soon. I don't care what it is at this point, but I just don't know if it's going to happen before June. I really don't. I think that May will be that month where everyone starts thinking about it. They get their plans together, they get ready, and then June, maybe June 1 is when everyone starts back up again and they get in, the sports that we need.
Right, I agree. And, we have no idea what's going to happen with MLB. I'd like to see it come back, and, MLB will get some better ratings than they normally would. But it's also because they have no fans there. Yes. And but we don't know what's going to happen. And if it's going to be able to get done and if they're going to make things happen. But if you are looking to get things happening and to make things happen, it is springtime now. Lawns are needing to be mowed. Landscaping needs to be done. Get in touch with Crandall's Quality Landscaping. Give Sean a call, 419-704-5471. He serves, let me go to my map, he serves the Toledo and surrounding areas and not.
Stop.
Kazakhstan.
Yeah, that's where Borat's from. Classic.
Classic. So thank you to Sean at Crandall's Quality Lawn Care. Again, he can help you with all your landscaping and lawn mowing needs. We actually played some golf with him today. He's doing well with business. This is having an impact somewhat on him, but he's able to get out there and get things done. He is essential business, and he can help you. Again, give Sean a call. Crandall's Quality Landscaping. Right? Crandall's Quality Landscaping. 419-704-5471. All right, so I had a thing here. I don't have much for NBA. I know that Adam Silver really doesn't know what's going to happen. He's not putting anything out there because they're asking, are you going to continue the regular season and then go to playoffs, or are you just going to go to playoffs? He hasn't said anything yet because we don't know what's going to happen. But from there, I saw a fun little thing, a 5-on-5. Who would win? And I'll ask you first, Parrot. So here's your teams. First team, Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Hakeem Olajuwon, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Second team, they will go up against Dwayne Wade, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, Tim Duncan, and Shaquille O'Neal.
Man, I don't know. Just because of where I'm at, and I didn't get to watch, a lot of those guys in the first team play, I'd probably go with the second team, but basketball's playing a lot differently now than it was, back in the 90s and 80s. So, I guess it'd be strengths and weaknesses on both sides, but I'd have to go with team 2.
Bear?
Yeah, I'd agree. I think Team 2 would beat him. I mean, that's a pretty stout team. The only thing that should be moved, though, is, maybe, and then don't get me wrong, I'm not knocking Dwayne Wade here, but, instead of Wade, I think they should put Iverson in there. That's where they're gonna pull from. But I can't change it. I'd still pick Team 2, but if I'm allowed to change it, make a change, or maybe they have some bench players. Give me Allen Iverson on that Team 2, and that's a definite lock for a win.
Right. That would be a tough team to beat. I know we kind of saw a lot of those guys playing the Dream Team, but granted, Larry Bird had his back issues by the time the Dream Team came around. Magic was past, what he was going through. If I had those guys in their prime, I would be very interested to see those two teams match up. But guys are built a lot stronger, bigger now. Larry Bird was not a muscular fellow. He was just a white dude playing basketball. Michael Jordan, not, muscular by any means. Magic Johnson, same thing. These guys now are just fit. They're cut. They're in shape. They look good. It's a different game of basketball. And it depends on how they were playing the game. If they were playing their own ways, I would have to agree with you guys, Team 2. But if it was set kind of how things were in the late 80s, early 90s, I could give the edge to Team 1. But with this all, knowing how things progressed and how things have happened over time, I would agree with you guys, Team 2. What?
Yeah, I mean, they're...
Go ahead.
Especially now anyway, because they're younger, so...
Yeah, absolutely. But I would love to see, like Brandon said, I would love to see an old-timers three-point contest, see Larry Bird out there shooting threes at 60-some years old.
I think he'd still probably... He wouldn't win, but he'd probably still finish up there.
Yeah, Larry Legend. Gotta love him. He was fun to watch. You go back and watch some of them Celtics games. That dude was just ahead. I mean, he was fun to watch. And I know it was tough. And I think a lot of us have seen the Lakers and Celtics rivalry and those games in the 80s and of course, in the 2000s when it came back with the Big Three. Fun stuff to watch. All right. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude was, he wasn't a pushover either. For a little skinny white dude, he wasn't scared. He wasn't scared of anybody.
No, Larry didn't give a shit. And
he was like a little smaller Bill Lambier, but with talent.
With talent, I love it. So one of the things too that I wanted to mention was April 19th starts The Last Dance on ESPN about the Bulls. You guys looking forward to that?
Oh yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's going to be a 10-part series we get out of that, too. I mean, it's going to be great.
Now, I haven't looked much into it. Are they doing just like the last few years of them together, or how's that going to work?
I thought, to me, from what I understood, is it was just the 97, 98 year. Okay. I could be wrong, but that's what I thought I saw. It's just their last year.
You got any ideas, Zazu?
What's that?
Do you have an airplane driving over? Flying over?
Yeah, mowing his grass. I really can't do anything about that. I apologize.
No, we were saying...
it's 70 degrees outside, beautiful day. Goddamn, someone's mowing their grass. What a prick. Right? How dare they?
There's like...
Yell out the window at him and tell him, hey, we're recording a podcast, fucker.
Yeah, this is a very important podcast. And what do they have, one strip of grass outside of you? I mean, it can't be that much.
It's the guy across the street. He has a pretty decent-sized yard.
Well, close the window.
But he's at like 0.3 miles an hour because he's a grandpa.
God, you're so nice. And if you are a grandpa and you have needs, be sure to get in touch with Verizon. Tim at Verizon can help you with your technology needs. And Verizon, remember, is a true technology business partner who helps local businesses deploy technologies that can positively impact operations and increase revenue for the company. At Verizon, we do not wait for the future.
We build it.
Get in touch with a sales rep in your area, Verizon.com. Also, while we're at it, thank you to Cassandra at PNC. She can help you with all of your banking needs like she's helped us. Visit her at the White House branch or give her a call. You're probably better off giving her a call, 419-877-0634. She can help all your banking needs, loans, credit cards, or personal banking. She's there to help. PNC, I think they're still involved for businesses too, doing those payroll protection program loans. So if anybody needs one of those, check that out. If you're a business in need, they can probably help you out at PNC. All you got to do is give Cassandra a call. Again, 419-877-0634. All right, so with iRacing, William Byron won the race. Sounded like Elmer Fudd, Bug Bunny. So William Byron won iRacing this past week, and Bubba Wallace was in the middle of the race and rage quit. So one of his, not his primary sponsor, but one of his secondary sponsors in NASCAR, actual sponsor for NASCAR, dropped him. And I quote, they said, "We want racers, not quitters." What are your thoughts, Bear?
Oh, man. Yeah, I saw that one this weekend. Yeah, that's what he gets. You don't. Why are you rage quit? It's a video game. I'm sure they're making money for it. I mean, literally to do nothing, not even real. And he just straight rage quits. Like, dude.
That's what he said.
On him, man. I like Bubba, but that's a bad look for him.
I mean, instead of rage quitting, he could have just went and knocked a couple people out, during the race.
Right. Drove backwards or something. Yeah, like you used to in NASCAR.
Yeah.
Do the good old tomater.
Or was that just me?
No, I did that too, just for fun, just to go bash cars. I did the same thing, man. And by the way, Queen, we got to get on the old PlayStation 4 and play. I saw we got for PlayStation Now, we can play Heat 3. I mean, I own Heat 4, but we can play some Heat 3. We'll have to do that. We might have to try that out tonight.
Yeah, we can give her a go.
Yeah. So with Bubba Wallace, like you said, and he went off on a tangent just saying it's just a video game. I'm like, well, you pissed your sponsor off, you moron. Like,
right. I mean, their sponsor's getting airtime on Fox Sports 1. I mean, you have to keep racing. It doesn't matter. You can't quit in the middle of a fucking NASCAR race. Come on.
It was
dumb.
It was dumb.
Not thinking.
Very dumb.
Not thinking.
No, not at all. And I know we're waiting on Jeremy for trivia, so we'll get to that in a bit. But of course, we got to get to our last sponsor. And I know a guy on this call that's down on his luck with dating. And if you're down on your luck, you've got to get in touch with Dolph Ziggler is also down on his luck, and we reached out to Dolph on Twitter. So if you need some help in your dating life, get in touch with Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com.
I could plug him all day, but I should save the Dolph one for wrestling because he is a wrestler and this is the sports one. But, man, that was funny. That was a great idea by you because I wasn't thinking about it. But for the people who are non-wrestling fans, we'll just go into it. He, quote-unquote, lost his girl in the storyline and then went on Twitter and said, well, lost my girl, guess I'm going to have to go on Tinder now in this quarantine. So Gray had the great idea. He goes, well, why don't you tag datingtransformation.com in there? Comment on it. I was like, okay. So replied to the OTL Twitter on our account there and put it in. It was funny because when I typed in, I said, while you're there icing your marbles because he got hit in the gonad, kayfabe style, fake, scripted, however you non-wrestling fans want to put it. So I put that in there. I was like, while you're icing your marbles, on Tinder, maybe you could go to datingtransformation.com and get with Connell Barrett. He'll be able to help you get back out there and improve that dating profile on Tinder because you just lost to a big round potato and Otis. So, yeah, that was good. And when I typed it in, it came up, and his name, Connell Barrett, came right in there. So, maybe if Dolph didn't see it, I'm sure other people are scrolling around looking at it. So maybe he got even more visibility on there. But Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com. Hard to date in the quarantine world right now, but when we're all out of it, you're going to have to sprucing up your dating game because you probably haven't talked to the opposite sex in a while. So reach out to Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com. He could probably do a Skype or FaceTime session consultation for you if, you're interested. Connell Barrett, datingtransformation.com.
All right, so some thoughts I have just to kind of wrap up, and then we'll do on this day in history, of course. So there are a few things political. I'm sure everybody here knows that. Well, I know Parrot knows, but Bernie Sanders has dropped out of the Democratic race. It is now Joe Biden against Donald Trump in November. Donald Trump, he is going to give you your stimulus money. Be aware for it. It will be there. It'll be the greatest stimulus in history. Look for it in your checking account. Unless you don't have a direct deposit, I will send you a check in the mail, personally signed, Donald J. Trump, the president of the decade, the president of a lifetime, president of the century, greatest of all time. I am the greatest president. I am the greatest jobs president. I am the greatest coronavirus president, Donald Trump. So we want to thank him for the stimulus money, and good luck against Joe Biden. We'll see what happens in November. But the other thing, I saw Twitter's CEO pledged $1 billion towards efforts aimed at fighting coronavirus pandemic. That is amazing. I think that is the biggest donation thus far by an individual. So I applaud him for that. That is stepping up right there. And in the sports world, another person that stepped up, I can't remember if we mentioned this or not, but Robert Kraft. I know we talked briefly about it and how many what it's going to mean for him. But he paid $2 million and used the Patriots plane to acquire 1.2 million masks. So that's amazing. He stepped up as well. That is a big deal. I don't think people understand how big of a deal that is. But Robert Kraft, I mean, I think he gets him out of that. I don't know if you say the hole there that he was in for what he was doing for that $100 and what he was getting. But you go into that. Yeah, you go into the parlor, get the Robert Kraft, check it out. Ask for the Robert Kraft at your local parlor when you can go back.
Yeah, whenever they're open again, unless that's an essential business.
Right. Very well could be. But I don't think a nail salon is, but maybe a massage. I think a few massage places are closed, probably because you have to touch somebody. But what if you have gloves? I mean, doesn't that work?
I mean, if they're face down, if you cough on someone's back, I don't think you get the coronavirus. Just throwing that out there.
Yeah, you're right. Just don't wipe your back afterwards. Just put on instead of using like lotion, just squirt hand sanitizer when you're massaging them.
Yeah, just rub it right in. It'll be all right.
Dial soap, anything, soft soap, any of those things. What do you think? I'll start with you, Bear. Dana White says he's taking UFC to a private island. What are your thoughts?
This dude's fucking wild, I'll tell you that. Holy shit. He's always been crazy and outspoken. So if Dana White can get a private island to throw some UFC fights on and stream it out to the world and get $60 a person for all the unemployed people who can't afford it right now, more power to him. I guess that's fine as long as he gets his fighters tested and everything's cool. Whatever. It is what it is. But we already lost out on Tony and Habib, and that's what I wanted to see. So I really don't care about Tony and Justin Gaethje. It'll be a good fight, but it's not the fight that everyone wanted to see. I would have paid I would have paid the $80 or whatever in HD to watch Tony and Habib. It's going to be a hell of a fight. They're two amazing fighters. But now that that's not happening, I ain't paying $1 for the rest of that card, in all honesty.
What do you think, Parrot? Zazu?
Like Bear said, Dana is crazy, and, Dana does what Dana wants to do, man. As long as he gets them tested, if he's willing to spend all that money to fly all the fighters out to the island, more power to him. I'll watch him. Sports is sports at this point. I love watching the fight. Bummed about the Khabib fight, but at this point, I just want to see sports, man. So, I'll still probably watch them either way.
And it'll be interesting. And, flights can't be that expensive anymore. It's probably like, what, $50 round trip? I know. I would
hope so. I get cruise emails now all the time since I've cruised on both Carnival and Royal Caribbean. And it is all about, book now for a couple months out. And, it's pretty much $20 a night. You can get cruises for like $120 right now for 5 nights. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
So, trust me, they're tempting me right into it really good right now.
Yeah, we had our flights booked. I'm supposed to actually be in Florida right now. I'd probably be at Disney right this moment, and I had to cancel the flights. And it was quite $3,000 worth of flights because there were several of us going, and so I canceled the flights, 100% e-credit, and it was going to only be good through January 31st of 2021, but now they've extended it to May 31st of 2022. So that's pretty awesome.
You must have booked through Delta.
Yes, I did.
Good, because I got the same exact thing for my Vegas flight.
Yeah, I always fly Delta. I'm a Delta whore. I need my Sky Miles.
Yeah, Delta is. I love Delta. I think they're a great airline. That's always what I fly is if I can. So yeah, I was happy that they gave me full refund, which I figured they would anyways. I had the insurance, so I knew I would get something.
And we didn't even need the insurance.
Zazu just needs his exit row.
Did what?
Yeah, well, you got to get that Delta Comfort Plus is what you need to get.
Yeah, get Comfort Plus, or if you get on an aisleway, you'll be all right.
No, the aisleway doesn't help, man. You got to have either an exit row or you got to be front row.
Yeah, you can get an emergency exit row. Some of those are like long exit rows. You just got to look when you're booking your flight, when you get your seat. You might pay $60 more, but it's worth it. I do it all. I use my miles to upgrade all the time. You have to, Parrot. That's what it's all about. The hell is he doing now? Is he doing the 5-knuckle shuffle again?
Oh, I was getting my vapey.
There you go.
Are
So,
you wearing pants?
What?
Are you wearing pants?
Yeah, I'm wearing shorts.
You just covered yourself up rather quick with that blanket. So I know what's going on there.
So always something.
Now you're only at head level, so making me even more nervous.
yes, it does. So I do know that CP3 Young and Levine are planning on playing horse, so we'll see how that goes. Jameis gave kudos. He said, kudos to me to get replaced by Tom Brady. So that's interesting.
Oh, Jameis. Famous Jameis.
Right. I don't understand him sometimes, but that is Jameis Winston. Bear, it looks like you froze on my screen.
Yeah, you froze on mine, too.
Yeah, you're froze on mine, Gary. Bear's fine, you're froze.
Oh, of course I'm froze. I can see you, Parrot. I'll have to shut her off, shut her back on, see what happens. I don't know. Hopefully it continues to work here. Look at Parrot moving around on his phone. Look.
There you go, you're back.
I'm back. You're still frozen on mine, so you just might have turned off video, turn it back on. I don't know. Oh, nope, didn't work for you. All right. See Parrot moving around.
Trying to get comfortable.
I see Mr. Bear. Aw, he's so precious. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Be careful there. That was wonderful. That was quite wonderful, Bear. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
I'm over here practicing the 5-knuckle shuffle.
Only lucky people get to see the nipple.
Right. So we want to talk about. Yes, Jeremy is here, so we're going to be able to do this.
All right.
All right.
Well, I'll kill a minute here while Jeremy puts this stuff in. Have you guys watched Tiger King yet?
Yes.
Dude, that was one of the most wild shows I think I've ever watched my entire life.
And it's not even a good show. It's just that everybody in the show is so interesting.
How about Psycho Nuts? How about that?
Yeah.
Interesting is too nice of a word to give these crazy ass people, because holy shit. If you haven't watched that show yet, watch it.
I think Gary needs to didn't watch it all the way through. I don't think he has. He's kind of gone off of all of our conversations about it, I think.
I've seen 2 episodes, but because I have too much shit going on. But I watched those 2. I'm like, this is nuts.
Yeah, you watch the other 5 that follow it.
How many husbands does this guy have?
What was that?
How many husbands does this guy have?
2 at one point. I think he's had like 4. But both his first 2 were actually straight. Yep.
That is just weird.
It's crazy. And then the other dude has like 8 wives, and then the Jeff dude that comes in is just a weird dude. It's for artist. Old Carol Baskin fed her husband the Tigers.
It's wild. That's for sure. We know that bitch. Kelly's been watching. She watched. What did she watch? She's been watching some of those documentaries, Murder of Lacey Peterson, and then Casey Anthony. That whole thing. So she's been watching a lot of that.
Oh, very interesting ones right there.
Yep. Do you have the updated points?
Yes, I do. So, as of April 1st, Gary, you have 309. Cody Bryant has 251. I have 273. Parrot has 141. And Dub has 17.
Yeah, I thought he might join us. He never responds anymore. I think it was a one-off.
Yeah, I think he's still moving and shit, so...
Yeah,
I was really excited to talk to him about beating him this week in wrestling, too. So,
we'll talk about that on the show. All right, so let's get into trivia. First up, true or false, Wayne Gretzky's brother, Brent, scored 1 goal in his NHL career.
I'm going to say true.
I'm going to say true as well.
I didn't really hear that. Can you repeat?
Brent Gretzky, brother of Wayne, scored 1 goal in his NHL career. True or false?
Give me a false on that one.
All right, 1 point since it's 50-50 shot. Go. So he'll be able to listen to this, and we'll see what the answer is. It is true. Together, Wayne and Brent hold the NHL record for most combined points by 2 brothers.
Yep.
Wayne,
I think I've heard that stat before.
Wayne has 2,857, 4 for Brent. All right.
That's great. So he had 3 assists. Good for him.
Next up, name the 3 active MLB players who won an MVP award for a team they did not break into the big leagues with. 3 points for each.
Ooh, that's a good one. Active MLB players, huh?
Yep.
Yeah.
Active MLB players. I'll have to get to my chat box.
Yeah, I was about to say, I gotta pull the old chat up.
I can only think of one.
You can only think of one?
Yep.
That should be... man. We'll have to type this in to the box here.
But I'm going to give 3.
I'm trying to think of MVP. That's a tough. Active MLB players. Parrot active.
Well, that's why we had 1.
You're killing me, dude.
Shit. I'm sorry. I'm trying to think of my third, Gary. I have 2 of them right now. Well, I think I have 2. MVP. Goodness. That's like one of the distinguishes I never ever remember And the only person right now, of course, that comes to my mind is Mike Trout, who's always been with the Angels, so it doesn't even help me.
Got mine in there. Zazu the Great. All right, 3 points for each that we get correct, by the way. And I'm just telling him to give me the answers now since I put mine in. So it'll be interesting. We got waiting on Bear, but we've got Stanton, Votto, Pujols, Miggy for Bear, Miguel Cabrera, Mookie Betts, Jose Altuve for me, Miguel Cabrera, Jim Thome, Barry Bonds for Parrot. So the correct answers are Miguel Cabrera, Josh Donaldson, Christian Yelich. So 3 for Parrot, 3 for me. And finally, it was absolute blasphemy hearing you guys not choose Bo Jackson as the greatest video game character in all of video games. This should not even be a debate. Can Michael Vick run around the field the entire quarter in one play like Bo could? No. Speaking of which, I will be entering a Tecmo Super Bowl tournament in November, so I'm hoping to take home the championship. So let's end with a Bo Jackson question. And you know what? I'm going to throw this out there. If he needs a sponsor on that, I think we should sponsor him for all he's done for us.
Yeah, 2 things. 1, absolutely, we should sponsor him. 2, how old does he think I am?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, he's a little older than you, Bear. But that's a good point.
I'm gonna tell Jeremy. Hey, I can tell Jeremy right now that there was no Tecmo Bowl when I was growing up playing video games. Sorry that I did not pick Bo.
Yeah. And so, Jeremy, OTL Sports Podcast will happily sponsor you in this Tecmo Super Bowl. Let us know if we can watch anywhere, what we can do. I would love to see it, see what you're doing. Let me know what we can do to help. So he is hoping he takes home the championship, and we do too. You've got the backing from us. We want to be your primary sponsor like we do with like we have branded All Wear Clothing. So he wants to end this with a Bo Jackson question to honor the video game GOAT. How many rushing touchdowns did he score in his NFL career? Closest gets 5 points.
Rushing touchdowns.
Correct.
Oof.
What's Zazu doing over there? Trying to look up the answer? Dick.
Oh, Jesus, Gary.
Oh,
we
shit.
were on dead nuts almost.
Oh, yeah. I just realized 57, 54, 129. Oh, shit. This should be interesting. 16.
Man.
Bear gets the 5 points.
Wow, 16? I knew it was going to be a little bit lower, but then I was like, maybe he played a little bit longer. But, oh my. 16.
That's crazy.
And he was so good at Tecmo Bowl, huh?
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. Hard to believe he only played in the NFL for 4 seasons before a career-ending hip injury, averaged 5.4 yards per carry, and was one of the best. Have a good one, guys, and see you for wrestling. And he said he was shocked to learn that as well. So again, Jeremy, just a reminder, good luck in November, Tecmo Super Bowl. Keep us informed on what you need from us. We're here to support you like you support us every single week, every single episode. Let us know what we can do. Overline Sports Podcast has your back. So let's wrap this up on this show. Trivia helped us get to 50 minutes, so thankfully he got here in time. So today in sports history, I'm going to pull up some things just like normal, and I want to see what you guys say. So the big one here, Hammerin' Hank Aaron hits 715th home run, breaking Babe Ruth's record in Atlanta. Give me the year.
76.
Parrot?
I typed 85.
It was 1974.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so how about the 54th U.S. Masters Tournament? Nick Faldo of England goes back-to-back with a par on the second sudden death playoff hole with Raymond Floyd.
79.
71.
1990.
Okay.
All right, Daryl Strawberry enters the Betty Ford Clinic.
99.
What about you, Zazu?
I said 93.
Oh, 94. The AFL chooses 36-year-old Al Davis as commissioner.
2000.
What'd you say, Parrot?
87.
66. Remember, Al Davis was old as shit. He was only 36 there.
I was thinking of a different. I don't know why.
All right, Joe Louis, TKOs, Tony Musto, and 9 for the heavyweight boxing title.
61.
39.
41, very good. In Corona, California, race car driver Bob Berman crashes, killing 3 and badly injuring 5 spectators.
I don't even know that name. 77.
85.
1916. So happy 80th birthday, but he's now deceased. Former Buckeye, former Celtic, John Havlicek would have been 80 on this day.
We'll have a check.
Another one that passed away way too early, so this would have been his 74th birthday, Catfish Hunter.
Catfish Hunter.
That is, wow. Some of these guys. How about happy 50 or 47th birthday, to Alex Gonzalez, former Toronto Blue Jay.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to Felix Hernandez, 34. Only 34, wow.
King Felix.
Can't believe he's only 34. Shit, I thought he was older than that.
It seems like he's probably been around since he was 20 or 21, though, so it seems, you're right, I agree. I would have said he's 40, but yeah, he's been around since he's been a young pup. One of the most underrated pitchers ever, by the way, King Felix. If he didn't have some injuries, man, he could have been really, really up there, top 10 maybe all time. He had some nasty shit.
Yes, he did. I'm sure he took nasty shits.
Yeah, who doesn't?
Right, and that's not Corona, by the way, as I just coughed.
Then I have Taco Bell.
That was Taco Bell. So we want to thank, of course, Wes Anderson for Moments in Time. Check him out on Facebook, Wes Anderson Music. Give him a follow on Twitter at Songs by Wes. Thank you to All Wear Clothing, first and primary sponsor Over the Line Sports Podcast, Crandall's Quality Landscaping, Tim at Verizon, Cassandra at PNC, and Connell Bear at datingtransformation.com. We apologize to Sparty Steve. We tried to get you on the show again, just ran out of time. Maybe next episode we will try to get you on for wrestling. But thank you for your support and the Frickers lunch for episode 100 and all of your support and your future support. And as always, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night.
Live that high life.
Hey, that's what I was just drinking.